Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today I'm going to show you how to winterize our 2008 Honda CBR600 RR. Pretty simple process, but it's really important. I know it's the end of the season and you really don't want to put her away, but you better do it the correct way if you want her to start back up in the spring. So let me go grab some gas and I'll show you how to get it done. Alright guys, there's only a couple of areas of concern that we really need to focus in on. One is being the fuel system. It's very important to make sure the tank's completely full, and if you've got access to non-ethanol fuel, even the better, because it stands a lot better chance of not doing what they call phase separating, which it actually cuts it into different stratas. So to keep that from happening, use the non-ethanol fuel, and then we're also going to be putting in some of this stabilizer. After that, we're going to go ahead and put a battery tender on the battery itself. It stays all the way charged up for the rest of the winter. That way it'll be fresh and ready to go in the spring. Last, I'd like to talk about the tires and the tire pressure and what we need to do about that. So let's go ahead and fill her up and then put in some stabilizer. The reason we want to have it completely full of fuel is I know it's a closed system, but if you don't have it completely full, what will happen if there's any condensation inside the tank, it'll actually collect on the walls and rust. And that should do it. Next, we're going to put in some fuel stabilizer. This is roughly a 5-gallon tank, so that only takes 1 ounce because this stuff is pretty concentrated. And it will actually keep you in storage for 12 months, so that should easily get you through the off-season. Honda's nice enough to give you a little scale on the side, but the problem is this is a full bottle. How am I going to know what is an ounce up top? Well, let me show you a little life hack. You got a solo cup hidden around the house somewhere. Well, if you notice these different lines, they're there for more than just holding or giving it a little bit more structure. That bottom line represents 1 ounce. The second one up there is 5 ounces. One right there is 12. So all we need to do is fill up to that first mark right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get her dumped in there. My advice to you, throw away this cup now. Alright, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can take her out for one last ride just to get the everything mixed up in there and drawn into the system. I'm just going to crank it up, let it idle for a few minutes, maybe shake it up some, just to get it pulled into the system. Alright, we let it run for about 3 or 4 minutes, and that should be enough to get it all the way down to the injectors. So the fuel system should be taken care of now. Well, next, let's go ahead and get this seat off, and we'll get that battery tender installed. Pretty simple to get to, just a couple of 5mm bolts, Allens. Alright, with this little kit, there's a couple of different ways we can do this. And you've got a couple of different options to connect to the battery. One, just have a couple of alligator clips, which I don't want to use. So the way we're going to do it is put on this little harness that will actually stay on the bike. Really simple to do. All we're going to do is pull up the terminals and get the positive and the negative right there. Your positive, that's the one with the fuse on it. Make sure you get that correct. All right, this particular machine already had a connection made at the battery. What this one was for, because this particular machine has heated grips. But it looks very similar to what we're putting on. That bolt should be able to handle one more terminal up under it. Alright, get these snug back down. Because if you didn't have a battery tender on here, and the battery voltage goes under 12 volts, it'll actually sulfate, and that will kill the battery. And it can actually sulfate and shoot in less than a month. So this is definitely worth doing. All right, what I want to do here, so I don't have to pull the seat off every time, so I'm going to route it down out the side. Because if I put it up under here, like I said, I don't have to pull the tank off.
all I want to do is find a little bracket here to zip tie it to.
Now with that in place, it'll make it really easy to connect to it. And we won't even have to pull the seat off. Just go under here, flip it down, take off this little protective cover. This only plugs in one way. Plug that in and then off she goes. Now it's pretty much set up, you know, to keep the battery in a usable condition for the whole winter. The only other thing I want to bring up or recommend, if you've got the means, go ahead and get a set of front and rear bike stands, because if you get it up in the air, that'll keep the tires from getting a flat spot for sitting too long. You know, several months on a hard concrete floor, yeah, you're going to get a flat spot. Lifting it up in the air would eliminate that possibility. Well, like I said, that pretty much wraps it up. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer it. If you need any of the parts or equipment that I used on this machine, come see us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. And until next time, I just want to say thanks for watching.